everyone, welcome back to my channel So Little Time, and my name is Karen. So I hope you're all doing really well, and thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm here to share with you my So Frugal reveal. It's a little bit later than planned. We have had a lot of illness in our house. We have had the norovirus doing the rounds, and I am still a little bit breathless after my batch that I had over the weekend. So excuse me if I have to keep having to take a breath, but I wanted to get this video out to you and share with you my make. I did manage to get it finished on time to upload onto Instagram for the reveal on there to be entered into the prize draw. Unfortunately, I didn't win anything this year, but that's absolutely fine. I just enjoyed taking part nonetheless. It's one of my favourite challenges that gets run every year. So I have to say a huge thank you to both Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl and Sam from Frugalissima for hosting it again, because I know there is ever such a lot of work involved in it, and I know they probably get their phones pinging left, right and centre with all the entries, and there are thousands that get entered in. So yeah, amazing job, girls. So I'm really pleased with my make. Now, if you watch my video, I specifically looked at one sort of pattern style, and that was a gilet / vest. So I went with the Hanbok vest, which is by Sewing Therapy, and I have made my version. I've got it on here at the moment. I am really pleased with it, and I have worn it quite a bit since I've made it, but I'm not in love with it as much as I thought I was going to be, and I think I just much prefer the style of the new Craft House everyday waistcoat that I've made previously, that just kind of joins in the middle. And I don't know if it's a combination of the style of this combined with the fabric that I've used that has made me feel like I'm wearing some kind of tabard, in a sense of like, it looks a little bit like something you would wear if you were playing netball, or something you would wear perhaps if you were cleaning, you know, that kind of thing. And I think it probably is the combination of the fabric and the style of the pattern. So I think if I'd have used maybe a more floral style, pretty style fabric, I probably would enjoy wearing this a lot more. But the reason I went with this fabric combination with this pattern is because I thought it would be a lot more versatile to wear with garments in my wardrobe, and I do think that is definitely the case. But we will see how much I actually wear this garment. Now, I have got it on as a double spot at the moment because I'm wearing my cocoa top by tinning the buttons underneath it, because what I'm wearing today goes with that, so I just thought I'd share it with you. So firstly, before I show it in full detail, then I'm just going to insert a stock photo of what the front of the pattern looks like. And as you can see, it looks as though there are two variations in the length on this pattern, but there's actually not. It comes as one standard length as you print the pattern out in the A4 tiled format, and you cut it out, and then you just have to sort of slash it along the centre where it gives you the shorten lengthen lines, and then you add as much length as you like. So I know that the lady who has made this, I think her name is Sarah, she has got a YouTube video all about a step-by-step tutorial on how to make this, and she shows that she's made a shorter version. She's got the standard length version that it comes as the pattern, and then she's also made a long version as well, and she's just changed the length by cutting that shorten lengthen line, so it is just one standard size as it comes in the pattern format. So I was a little bit confused with that at first. I was like, oh, where's the longer version? Because I wasn't sure which sort of length I wanted. So when I printed out the pattern itself and I cut it out, I just held the pattern piece up against me and also checked it against my new Craft House everyday waistcoat, just to see the difference in the length of that. And the everyday waistcoat actually is just slightly longer, but it's a completely kind of different style, so you can't really gauge off that because the shoulder lines are all in different places. So I decided just to err on the side of caution, and I added just ½ an inch to the length of mine, because I just didn't want it too short, because if I'm going to be wearing it with high-waisted jeans and things like that, then I wanted to make sure that it was not going to be too short basically and look a bit silly. So I added that ½ an inch, and I am really pleased that I have done so. So I'm just going to pan you down so I can show you how far it comes down on me. So I've got it on with the pinafore dress today, and like I say, my spotty cocoa top, so it's probably a bit too much spot going on. But it crosses over at the front and does up here with a tie. And then if I open this up, it also ties at the side here, where it's sort of sandwiched inside the seam there. And I like the fact that you do have that crossover, because it does add that little bit of warmth to it. And this is a reversible vest, but mine isn't reversible because I'll go through how and why I didn't do that. But basically, yeah, it's half an inch longer than it should be. So that hits me right at my natural waist, which I quite like, because if I'm wearing high-waisted jeans, then at least it might have that just little bit of cover over it. I do think it will look really pretty with other garments other than just navy and white, because I think maybe that's a bit too uniform for it. I don't know. But I just quite like on the other one that I made, it's got that down the centre and it's got the ties there. It just breaks it up a little bit, whereas this feels, yeah, just a little bit, I don't know, too much, too full, like I say, a bit like a bib, which you would wear for netball. But I have made another change to it as well. Now, I made the straight size 12 and just added that half an inch. But then when I was trying it on before adding the bias binding, I found around here was really, really gapey. And it is still a little bit gapey, as you can see here. I feel like I need a dart in either section there just to bring it in, and I think that looks much, much better without that sticking out. So if I was to make this again, I would definitely add a little dart in there or change the pattern piece so it was a lot more flush to my body, because that just looks so much better than with it sticking out like that, I find. I could potentially just add a little tuck in there and just stitch that down. I don't think that would look too bad actually to do that, so I might do that, I'm not sure. But I ended up taking quite a bit off the actual armholes, so it was actually quite wide on me. It came out here, and I've taken off a good inch, I would say, all the way around there and graded back down. So I could have potentially, I suppose, taken even more off to get it more streamlined to my body like that. Maybe I didn't take enough off, I'm not too sure. But yeah, so I am really happy with the style of it. I did really like the construction process, but I'm not really sure how I feel about how I look in it, and also the fit is just a little bit off for me. So yeah, now this is a reversible vest, and what you're supposed to do is just sandwich the two fabrics, the backing fabric and the front fabric, together. And I think, I can't actually remember the construction process because I didn't follow it, but it does turn out reversible. But I decided not to do that because I've used the same fabric on both sides, so I didn't see the point. So I have literally on the inside, let me show you, on the inside of this, I have just overlocked like the inside edges, so I wouldn't wear that reversible at all, because obviously you'd see my overlocking stitches, and also at the top on the shoulder seams as well. I don't know if you can see that here, so I've just overlocked across the top and then just made it as a single layer basically. But I've used the two layers of fabric, and then I did want to quilt it a little bit because I felt that the cotton poplin fabric would have been a little bit too thin really just on its own. So what I ended up doing was to put inside just a old brush cotton sheet that I'd got, just to give it a little bit of structure, and then I did quilt it. Now you're probably not even going to be able to see this, but I have quilted it with some diagonal lines going across here. And I just sort of use my quilting foot on my sewing machine, which is my walking foot with an extension thing that allows you to gauge how far away the lines are. Sorry, I'm so out of breath. And yeah, so I'm pleased with how that has turned out, but you can barely see it because I only use white thread, and also as well because the cotton sheet that I used, just the brush cotton sheet, was so like thin really, there's not much weight in between the two layers. So I think that's fine for having it as a transitional piece from spring into summer, that it's quite nice to have a little overlay if you need something to wear and you don't want a full sleeve on. But if you wanted it thicker, you could add, I don't know, maybe a proper batting inside of it, or even like a Sherpa fleece you could use as the reverse of this. That would work really well. If you search up the hashtag Hanbok vest on Instagram, you will see that there are loads of versions on there. So there are some really pretty versions on there, and I do think I should have gone down that route of having a more pretty version. But I do really like this spot fabric. I do like a spot. And it has turned out quite well. It's just I'm not really sure how I feel this looks on me. So give me your honest opinion. I'm quite happy to have your feedback as to what you think this looks like on me. And the only other thing I would change as well is actually the ties are really, really short. So I would add length to those next time, because I just find you can't get a really nice bow and it just sticks out because they are just a little bit too short. So I would definitely add just maybe a couple of inches of length either end on that. I wouldn't change the ones on the inside because obviously you don't want that hanging below the actual jacket itself. But yeah, So this is how it has turned out. Let me know your thoughts on it. Yeah, I hope you have success in making something frugal for yourself. And again, thank you so much to Ruan and Sam for holding this challenge. But this is my make for this year, and I shall see you again soon. Take care. Bye.